Now, the thing that's frustrated me in the last 2 games is that we've allowed a situation where it has been end to end. And I'm thinking, sometimes as players, Scholes, you're playing a game, Crystal Palace. Liverpool are better than Crystal Palace. Okay, Liverpool are favourites to win the game. But you've been battered in the first half. You've got 1-1. They're on an unbelievable run. I'm like, get out of there with your point. I'm a little bit like that with... And there's slightly different with Chelsea in that I think when it went to 1-1, I think a team who were, the title-winning team, the champions, just go and win that game.
That's what I thought.
You go and win that game, especially with the problems Chelsea had. But then the game wasn't... Liverpool were never in control of the game, I felt, after it went 1-1. You'd expect them to go and win the game, but never really in control. And even when he brought Endo on, I know it's telling you to take a point, but it didn't feel like anybody did go back and defend. Everyone was just running. It's just like, and that's the thing that's frustrating me. For a team who are champions and got such experience and the senior players and what they've won, not understanding that situation, what I've just said about Crystal Palace, where you think, hey...
Points sometimes it's very good, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you play that badly. And the Chelsea, I'm just like, Liverpool will be top of the league, them 2 points. That's frustrated me, not so much... Losing games can happen, but almost the manner of it, 2 weeks running, last-minute goals. Is that...
Sorry, Joe, I was just going to say, even the games where you've won, I've never felt like you've been in total control of them.
I don't think we've ever been in control of a game of football since, the first game of the season.
You try and think what's changed from last year. I suppose 50% of your back four have changed, haven't you? If you bring the keeper into that as well with his injury, he's such a massive presence. You obviously lost Trent. The left back hasn't quite got going yet, has he? He doesn't look... it's difficult to say because it doesn't look quite up to the standard of a champions winning team. Do you know what I mean? Andy Robertson. Everyone thought he needed replacing, and looking at it, did he really? I think he will play a lot more football than he would have been expecting from what we've seen. So I think a goalkeeper's becoming such a big part of football again, isn't it? You think of the presence of an Alisson behind that back four, thinking, wow, you just look at him, you look at the size of him, and maybe not winning your games all the time, but you just look at him and think, you're going to miss that. You're definitely going to miss that. I don't care what team it is. We did it for years, Adam, didn't we? We've missed a Peter Schmeichel, and for years we couldn't replace him. Edwin van der Sar coming and brilliant. So, and Konate's not been quite good, has he? So defensively, you do look quite poor, I think. But I still think it's only a little blip. I still think you've got the best squad in the league. I still definitely think you've got the best squad of players.
Gareth, we've got the 2-week break now. What would be the advice? Listen, you've just obviously spoke about the manager, and he's not going to listen to you.
No, he doesn't listen to you.
And he's not going to listen to me either. And he doesn't need to.
He's got a bit touchy. He's got a bit touchy, hasn't he?
Yeah, Gareth just mentioned that.
Yeah.
But listen, you lose games. But what do you mentioned quite a few problems, and I think there's quite a few. I don't think there's one thing, but if there was one big thing over this next 2 weeks that you think you'd like to see the manager do for the next game, or you think, okay, he's got to do this, or what's the biggest one that stands out for you?
For me, as much as possible, because a lot of it obviously depends on form and fitness, and I think both of those things have been a factor if you look across the squad. I'd just like him as much as possible to try and decide on what his best team is and stick with it for a bit, as much as possible, as I say. So I was looking at it before, and there's only 3 players that have played 90 minutes in the 7 games. So, it's Van Dijk, it's Salah, and it's the other one.
Gravenberch, no?
Midfielders, maybe.
Can't remember. But it's only 3 players, and that just shows you how much it's changed, not just in terms of from the starting lineup, but the finishing lineup as well. And I just think it's too much. He's making too many changes. He can't decide who his starting right back is and his you know what I mean? And I think all of that is making it quite messy. I want the partnerships to start to build up, the understanding starting to build up, and I don't think we're seeing that at the moment.
I feel for the manager in that, because I think we always say, don't we, does he know his best team, or stick with the team, what you're saying, and I get that. I think the problem you sometimes have is when the team's not winning and playing well, but you've also got a lot of options, and you're always thinking, okay, well, that won't be better. It's hard to keep sticking with something when it's not working, when you've then got players who cost you 70, 80 million pounds on the bench. So I've got a little bit of sympathy with them with that. And we keep saying, don't we, and I've said it myself, oh, can we not go back to last season, how it was? But it was probably easier for them that the team picked itself. But what Liverpool did in the summer, I think I said it on this show, it felt like a Real Madrid summer, not a Liverpool summer. And there was something about it that we all love our teams buying players, don't we? Big, spending money and big names. But there was something about it that was a little bit, it doesn't feel Liverpool like this. But okay, great, we're buying Isak, we're buying Wirtz, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I was thinking on the way, because everyone's had an opinion on he should play him, he should play him, he should do that. Because it's been a Real Madrid summer in terms of buying big players, does Slot almost need to be like the ultimate Real Madrid manager? And I always think of Ancelotti, and I feel like Ancelotti every summer, you'd almost be thinking, what's he going to do with that? He's almost, even last season, there was, how can he get Mbappe and Vinicius in the same team? But even go back to his AC Milan teams or his Real Madrid teams, that was his greatest strength as a manager. He'd find a way, whatever system, and he'd get the best players on the pitch where they wanted to play and almost do it for the players rather than, I think in this day and age, the game's almost, a manager's got his way of playing. Yeah. It might be his system, it might be his style, and they've got to fit into that. It might be a case of actually, you know what, we've got to make this work. Not so much they've got to come into the Liverpool team or the Slot idea and play. So we always play under Slot, don't we, 4-2-3-1. That might have to change in terms of getting the players in because, when you've spent that sort of, type of money on the players, I mentioned about Wirtz maybe coming out the team, but that couldn't last forever. He's cost over £100 million. You've got to try and make that work. So I'm sort of intrigued how he does it going forward, how he gets these players into the team, because I even think Ekitike and Isak,
he's got to find a way of getting them in together.
He's got to find a way. Yeah. Not every week, but you can't have it every week if Isak starts and he comes on after with 20 minutes to go. You have to find a way where they can play together at some stage.
Jamie Carragher was left fuming as Liverpool's struggles continued, questioning their intensity, balance, and defensive discipline. He blasted the team for losing their identity, insisting that the Reds know longer control games the way. They used to under Klopp. Carragher compared their recent performances to basketball matches, where Liverpool trade attacks recklessly instead of dictating the tempo. A sign, he warned, that something is seriously wrong within the setup. Paul Scholes echoed Carragher's frustration, adding that Liverpool look mentally and physically drained compared to title rivals like Arsenal and Manchester City. Scholes praised Arsenal's sharpness and composure while suggesting that Liverpool's midfield lacks the control needed to sustain a title challenge. Both pundits agreed, unless Liverpool rediscover their structure and energy, their season could quickly slip away.